Feixiao, as I correctly predicted in my video, has gotten nerfed to some extent, and we are here to talk about it. Go check my other video out on her if you want a more detailed guide on her relics, light cones, and more. I'll give you some updates on her relics and planers as well that might be better now since we have changes in her kit. I will be going top to bottom from the Honkai Star Leaks subreddit, and we'll be looking at everything together. For her base speed, it went down from 125 to 112, making speed boots a much better option than attack boots in my opinion, since you get over 134 speed with the boots alone. I would have probably recommended attack boots before this change because 125 speed is really close to 134, so from the substats you could possibly get 134 speed from those alone. Her skill doesn't advance forward anymore and deals less damage, but you get an extra follow-up attack after you skill. This doesn't specify if this follow-up attack can be triggered again, since we know that she can follow-up attack after an ally attacks, but with this change, it looks like allies only trigger her follow-up attack if you don't use skill on her. The ultimate, as predicted, went down to a nice 700%. It says here that she launches attacks a total of 6 times, which I'm guessing means she throws 6 Blitz and 6 Skywards in a max ult, but it could also mean that if you have 12 stacks on her, then you can only spend 6 of them to activate her ult, and the other 6 will not be used, but that sounds kind of weird, so let's just go with what I said first. The talent does a little bit less damage, but Feixiao gets a ridiculous 60% damage boost every talent follow-up attack for 2 turns, meaning pretty much a 100% uptime on a 60% damage buff. I can definitely see a nerf on this one in version 4. The follow-up attacks from her ultimate are going to do a smidge less damage, going from 75 to 60%, and the damage multipliers went from 40% to 30% on both Blitz and Skyward. Onto the minor traces, they got a weird change to give defense instead of speed, but I believe this is better since speed boots go over 134 on her now, which makes an extra 5 speed unnecessary. As for her major traces, they are all over the place, but I will try to compress them just a bit. Her first trace now gives 3 points instead of 4 on her ultimate, and if Feixiao doesn't trigger a follow-up attack for a single turn, next turn she gains a stack on her ultimate for absolutely free. Second trace makes her ult a follow-up attack, and it also increases the crit damage dealt by her follow-up attacks for a nice 36%. And third and final trace grants a 48% attack boost for 3 turns when she uses her skill. Quite the self-buffer Feixiao is. I would like to know which character has the most self-buffing abilities, because Feixiao is definitely one of the tops. Moving to the Eidolons, her E1 increases the ult damage up to 5 times, with each stack giving 10% of the original damage and lasting for the entirety of the ultimate. The ult damage increase comes from every single hit that she does, so for example, her first hit is going to give her 10% of the original damage, the second hit is going to give her another 10, 10, 10, 10, up to 5 times. E2 gives a stack to her ultimate every follow-up attack she does, so the value from her skill to follow-up attack is now 1.5 points instead of a single point to her ultimate. E4 is a nice and simple 10% follow-up attack increase, and E6, the final change that happened on her, she gains a huge 20% ult-type respen ult damage. The talent follow-up attack is now considered to do ult damage, and its damage multiplier gets a massive 140% increase. Pretty solid E6, I have to say. Now that we've gone over the version 3 changes, here's some relics that you can use on her based off of these new buffs and nerfs. 2-piece follow-up attack is going to skyrocket in value even more, but I did have it as my most recommended on my other video. Salsoto is going to be amazing again, since some aspects of her ult are considered follow-up attack, or most of them, while some other aspects are considered ult damage, so you get the best of both worlds. Her follow-up attacks will be doing an extra 96% crit damage from her traces and everything else, so investing a bit more into crit rate will go a long way. She gains a passive 12% crit rate as well, so you get a nice head start. Glamith is really good still, but the 160 breakpoint is not that achievable now, so I think Salsoto or honestly Duran are going to be way better. I believe Duran is better than Salsoto, but if you have better Salsoto pieces, don't you worry, they work almost as good. Also, they buffed her light cone from 9% defense ignore to 27%, which is expected in my opinion since Boothill and Ratio and others are at the same defense ignore as well, on their signature light cones at least. To finish, you don't need any extra speed if you build speed boots, so focus fully on damage substats like crit and attack percent. Subscribe if you like the video. I hope I have reached 800 subscribers by the time this video goes live, and I'm looking forward to making my 1000 subscribers special video. See ya, lads.